Benjamin Franklin once said, "He who would trade liberty for some temporary security deserves neither liberty nor security." He said this because, as a country, we have been dealing with this conundrum since the very beginning. And it is with this in mind that I would like to propose that freedom is more important than safety. Now, I'd like to go over a few definitions to make sure we're all on the same page. So, the definition for freedom we're going to use comes from the Cambridge Online Dictionary: the condition or right of being able or allowed to do, say, think, etc., whatever you want to, without being controlled or limited. And furthermore, safety would be also from the Cambridge Online Dictionary: a state in which or place where you are safe and not in danger or at risk. Okay, so when we try to judge these two, a lot of the time these two aren't even in conflict, really, about anything. But there are times they are, and a lot of the ways they come into conflict is if we take a look at the idea of protection almost as a terminal value. This idea that you are protected and secure about what's going on. And for this reason, I would like to, when we look at what we want to be protected from, what it means to be protected, it means a lot of different things. But when it comes to freedom and safety, the areas it deals with is check on government tyranny, preventing crime from affecting us, and also limiting the influence, the negative influence uh, foreign powers have. So those are the areas that we look at, and that's how we're going to look at this speech and this proposition. We are going to be looking at how freedom is better at checking government tyranny, how freedom is better at preventing crime, and how freedom is better at hampering foreign powers from doing bad things to us. So let's move on to the first contention, which is government tyranny. When we take a look at it, the simple fact is the freedom of the press, speech, and expression allows us to report bad things, corrupt and tyrannical actions by the government. This is part of the reason people like Vladimir Putin don't have a very free press. They don't want information getting out about what they're doing. In fact, the United States State Department reported in 2007 about a program where they literally train foreign students to learn about freedom of the press and how it can check corruption and tyranny in other countries. We actually bring these students to our country and teach them about it as part of a program in the State Department, completely for exactly checking government tyranny. That's how big a deal it is. We have a program to ship it out to other countries as well. Furthermore, I would state that the right to bear arms checks government tyranny. George Mason, one of the main writers of the Bill of Rights, said to disarm the people is the most effectual way to enslave them. Since the founding of the United States, we've had the freedom to own guns, and one of the main reasons for that was to check government tyranny. In fact, it was all the arms the United States citizens had before they were citizens that led them to be able to have independence from the United Kingdom. So let's move on to contention two, which is preventing crime. The right to bear arms prevents crime. Maggie Gallagher stated in 2019 Human Events article, somewhere between 750,000 to 3 million people each year, depending on which national poll you believe, as University of Chicago criminologist John R. Lott Jr. reports in his fascinating book, More Guns, Less Crime. Uh, that's the number of people, things that are prevented, crimes that are prevented by guns. All right. All right. And that's a huge amount. Meanwhile, according to the CDC, there are 39,740 gun deaths in 2019. So basically, we have about 40,000 deaths versus Lowest figure, 750 million crimes being prevented. Basically, having a gun around prevents crime, even when it's not shot. Just having one means things are less likely to happen. All right, and so it definitely helps prevent criminal activity. And then the final contention we have is that it's detrimental to foreign powers. Freedom of the press, speech, and the right to vote actually leads to fewer wars. An article in the Financial Express on November 26, 2016 stated, and I quote, "But now, with democratic forces and globalization becoming powerful all over the world, the issues which would normally have ended in wars are increasingly being settled through the ballot box. Freedom to vote and the freedom of speech in the press, which are key parts of freedom to vote. All right, you can't have real freedom of voting if you don't have a free press and free speech to discuss the ideas and report on the candidates. Has actually led to less war. Furthermore, the right to bear arms prevents invasion. The Japanese World War II admiral Iroku Yamamoto is credited with saying, "You cannot invade the mainland United States. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass." This has been shown to be true. When a country is invaded, it's impossible to control where every citizen is armed. Even if you technically topple the government, we still haven't completely pacified Afghanistan. All right. It's tough when everyone is armed and they can just go to ground. So, overall, because freedom protects us from government tyranny, keeps us safe from crime, and keeps us safe from foreign invaders, it is very true that the proposition is correct that freedom is more important than safety.